Hi, John Collins here. So I'd like to talk to you about a topic that I actually really enjoy talking about, and that's helping people clear their blockages in relation to money, help them create wealth, stop living in a place of fear and lack when it comes to money. So I've spoken before about, how as a baby we're born and we're not born with lack, we're not born with money problems. We actually believe we're the center of the universe, and when we cry we expect all our needs to be met. And then as we get older, from the age of 3 to 7, we actually become aware of how our family around us functions in relation to money, and whether there's a lack mentality or whatever, and we actually take that on, we actually lock it into our body, we lock in that point of view. So sometimes the first step is actually realizing, when we're actually recognizing how we are with money, is that the initial step, the point of view there that's locked into our body, and helping to shift that. So we recognize it's there, and we can shift it. But there's a deeper thing as well, and what I mean by this is that it's making the familiar unfamiliar and making the unfamiliar familiar. So this to me creates the greatest step in actually creating wealth and creating financial freedom and being no longer in a space of lack. So what I mean by this is that we recognize that the point of views we take on, but we've also got to recognize that these are actually locked into our body for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So we function then from a place of what's familiar, okay? And we can have awareness that the point of views are not ours in relation to money. But how do we ultimately take that switch? Because I've seen a lot of people that, okay, they're aware of the points of views, but they can't actually get over the hurdle. And what is actually holding back is they're actually living in a space of what's familiar. So it's like, I'll give you a perfect example of somebody actually wins the lotto and suddenly they've won 3 or 5 million. And a lot of the cases of people that actually win the lotto is that they pretty much lose all the money. They blow it, in simple terms, because they're actually not familiar with actually having wealth. They're not familiar with actually having ease with money and knowing how to invest, and know how to actually have a familiarity with money. So the first step that's required, once you're actually aware of your points of view as money, is actually making your familiarity with money unfamiliar. And then making the unfamiliar, which is educating yourself, being comfortable with money, familiar, okay? And this becomes a change of mindset, okay? And you can use affirmations in relation to it, because you really need to reprogram your mind, taking away from the familiar to the unfamiliar, okay? And then from the unfamiliar to the familiar, okay? So, and this is what I've actually do with a lot of my coaching and mentoring sessions with clients in relation to money. I help them recognize where they're functioning from in relation to money. And then we actually look into actually doing that shift, and this shift is the key element of actually helping them to step in a place of actually creating wealth, creating savings, creating ease with money and everything, So I'll be doing continual clips on this, and I'm doing a little bit of a little money call there, Money a Love Affair. So please join me for that. And if you can subscribe also to my YouTube channel, and also if you'd like to actually book me for a session in relation to coaching or mentoring with money, please do. Okay, have a great day. Bye.